biology lesson. My name is Manza. To take you through the process of transport in plants. By the end of this lesson, I expect you to do the following one: to describe the internal and external parts of the plant, in roots specifically, state the differences between the two types of root system which we are to discuss. Then after that, I also expect you to draw and label the structure of root system and explain the importance of these roots in relation to photosynthesis. When we look at plants, this is one of the living organisms which is supposed to help in ecosystem. Hence, for plants to grow, they need some nutrients. And some of these nutrients, some of them will be moved by a structure known as a root from the soil. So as I've said, as the plants are growing, we expect these plants to use this structure which is known as a root to carry nutrients and other food stuff from the ground, from the soil, of course, to the rest of the part of the plant in relation to growth. So some of the most important nutrients should be moved by the root. The notable ones, important nutrients which may be picked by a root, important nutrients found in roots are: one, water is one of the most important nutrients supposed to be carried by the root, and then apart from this, we also expect the root to carry food. Of course, this one is the one which has been manufactured in the soils. So water and mineral salts are obtained from the roots, from the soils by the root system. And then when you look at this, for example, if a plant cannot transport or can't move water from the soil to the rest of the part of the plant, you don't expect growth in that particular plant to take place. And then if this does not happen, you do not expect these other processes which are essential in plants, like photosynthesis, to take place. Hence, the definition of a root. Roots, by definition, a root is just a structure which lies below the ground. This is just a structure, of course, which is found in plants, and it lies below the ground. It lies below the ground. You'll find these things in the soils, but on top of that, we also expect this to lie below the ground, meaning that it's supposed to find itself inside the soils as one of the most important functions. Because in the soil, this is where I expect this structure to carry all the necessary nutrients which a plant will require. These roots, mostly, they will come as a result of conditions which will favor the germination of seeds. For example, if you get a seed, a raw seed which is just dry, and then you plant that seed, as it is germinating, it is going to produce these structures which are known as roots. Of course, after germination has taken place. But for the roots to germinate, they are favorable conditions. Favorable conditions needed in germination. for these roots to be formed, so that the plant starts growing, there are certain conditions which will be needed for the root to germinate. What are some of these conditions which are needed for germination to take place? What are some of the conditions needed for germination to take place so that the root starts working? Betizun. Sunlight. Who else can put that word in correctly? Yes, blessings be. Warmth. In place of warmth, which word can also be used in place of this? Temperature. Favorable temperature. Apart from this one, what other condition is necessary for germination? Maize pin. Water. And then the last one. What is the last favorable condition which is needed for germination to take place as the root is developing? Tina, Banda.
Oxygen.
The last condition is supposed to be oxygen. Oxygen is one of those favorable conditions which are needed for germination to take place. As the seed is germinating, roots will start emerging. And as the roots are emerging from the germinating seed, you expect this root to start functioning and start working as you expected, to start supporting some of these processes like photosynthesis, transpiration, and others. So we also go straight and look at the functions of roots in plants. Functions of roots in plants. Why do you think roots are important in a plant? What are some of the reasons as to why a plant is supposed to have roots? What are the important roots? Esther Pin.
For absorption of water and mineral salts.
For absorption of water and mineral salts. One, that is very correct. Two, Chorwe, Mwinga.
Provides anchorage to the plant on the ground.
It provides anchorage to a plant. What is the meaning of the word anchorage? What is provision of anchorage for a plant? Tina.
To support the plant to the soil, to make it firm, to stand on its own.
It makes the plant to be firm on the ground. So when you start looking at these two types of roots, when you look at anchorage, those roots are there to make a plant stand firm on the ground. It gives support. It's not supposed to be shaken, or it's not supposed to be moved anyhow as a result of these roots emerging in the soils. So when you talk of anchorage, this is just the process of making a plant stand on its own. It's supposed to support itself and be firm on the what? On the ground. The other answer, what would be the importance of roots or the functions of roots in the soil?
Provide storage organs for manufactured foods, e.g. cassava.
They act as a storage what? Organs. When you look at all these roots the different types of roots which are yet to see, it's not all the roots which will just work as roots for the sake of transporting water and mineral salts and other nutrients from the soil to the rest of the parts of the plant. Other roots will act as storage what? Organs. Meaning that as the root is growing, expect that root to be storing food in it, and then it will be growing just like that. And then at the end of the day, when it reaches at a maturity stage, you expect that root to be eaten as it will be taken as food, because it will have stored the of what? Food. And examples of such roots which will act as storage organs where food can be stored is cassava, as one has said. Cassava, it starts as a very small root, but by the end of the period when it is expected to grow, the same root will act as what? Food stuff. And then we also have another example of the same roots which will act as storage organs, like the sweet potatoes. When you look at a sweet potato, you plant the actual roots, and then as it is growing, it emerges and starts storing food, and then it will be eaten as what? As food at the end of the day. But initially, it started as a what? A root. So those are some of the most important functions. Among them, provision of large surface area for absorption of water and mineral salts. They provide large surface area for absorption of water and mineral salts. So look at this when we come to those types of roots very soon. You see which type of root will have or provide large surface area and for what reason. So these are some of the most important functions as to why roots are supposed to exist in plants. If roots were not there, these things we are talking about, movement of substances like water and other mineral salts, would not have been taking place. So now we look at the different types of roots. We only have two many different types of root system in all the plants which we will name or which we will come across. The types of root systems will only be categorized into two. What is the first type of root system? Maya Wamirandua.
Taproot system.
Taproot system. And then the second one, the second type of root system, Lilian Mlenga.
Fibrous root system.
Fibrous root system. Fibrous root system. When you look at these two types of roots, all the plants which you will see outside or anywhere, you will find one of either of these. It's either that type of a plant has this type of the taproot system, or it has a fibrous root system. Sometimes the other way which can be used in place of fibrous root system is adventitious root system. So all the plants which we are able to see outside, they will center on these two types of root systems. Now we look at these one by one, and then we see how we can differentiate and how we can categorize them into their different types. So we start with the taproot system. Taproot systems, when you look at plants which are outside, especially those which act as the trees most, they have this type of root system which is known as taproot system. So in this root system, a dominant root which is called the primary root will grow straight downwards. On taproot system, for example, if this was a plant and then this is the ground, it will only have one many roots, and then in the sides there are certain roots which will be developing like this. They will be branching off from the main root, but it has gone, the main root is one which is going downward, but there are certain roots which are branching in the sides. This one, the one which is branching from the main root, it is known as primary roots. And then we also have the one which is branching. These are lateral roots. These are which are branching from the main root, and then the main root, which is this one. This is known as the primary roots. And then we also have this one, which is known as the lateral roots. And then on the same lateral roots, you have very, very small roots which will emerge again from this one, which will act as if they look like hairs, small hairs. These are known as what?
Root hairs.
These are the root hairs. There is a difference between the lateral root and the root hairs. What are the functions of the root hairs in the root system? What are the main functions of the root hairs? Beti Zulu, that's the main function of the root hairs.
They use absorb water from the ground and mineral salts.
Absorption of water from the ground and mineral salts. Who else can clarify that answer? What's the function of the root hairs? Yes.
To create a bigger surface area for absorption of water and minerals.
They create a bigger or a large surface area for absorption of what? Water and mineral salts. All the nutrients which will move in form of water, mostly they use these small roots which are known as what? Root hairs. So this type of root is the one which has been demonstrated here. When you look at this diagram which is here, there's a plant which is just showing a cut. They have removed the top part and then it starts from the stem going downwards. When you look at such a plant which has this as a main root which goes downward, This type of a root system is what is known as a taproot system. And then these other roots will emerge from the main roots going into the sides like this, the way they have been labeled. These are lateral roots, those which will branch from the main primary root. And then within the same lateral roots, there are those small roots which I've just explained here, which are supposed to be named as what? Root hairs. And then the most important function of this is to provide that surface area for absorption of what? Of water and other mineral salts or other nutrients. So when you look at this one, mostly they are saying this is found in dicotyledonous plants. Most of the taproot systems are found in dicot plants. Who can give us an example of dicotyledonous plants? What are dicot plants? Examples of plants which belong to dicotyledonous. Examples of plants which belong to dicotyledonous. Examples of plants which belong to dicotyledonous. I read room. Onions. No. Thank you for trying, for the courage. Tawana, Mari?
Beans.
Beans is one of the plants which belong to dicotyledonous. Another one? Apart from that one,
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Apart from that one, that is also correct. Nakuliana?
Mango trees.
Mango trees. So when you look at dicotyledonous, we are looking at those plants which most of the time they are used as plants which can be used to replace nutrients in the soil when you are doing what is known as crop rotation. How do you identify this? Most of these types of plants, you will find something like, for example, if this is the root, the root system of a plant, you find something which will appear like this. It has these types of structure in the root systems, and these are known as rooty nodules. If you find a plant which has such structures, these are known as root nodules, and this type of a plant belong to dicotyledonous what?
Plants.
And then in these root nodules, that is where you find nitrogen, which helps in fixing back nitrogen to the soil. Or in short, it helps the soil to be fertile throughout. That's why they are used mostly in crop rotation. The second type of root system is fibrous root system. Mostly on this one, the roots, they branch from the stem of the plant. They don't have the main roots, but the roots will emerge from the stem and start growing. And then they don't even go very deep. They don't go very far in terms of depth in the soil. They will branch off from the stem. For example, when you look at this one, which is here, when you look at this type of root system, which is here, this is the stem. And then the roots will just emerge direct from the stem and start going to the soils. And then mostly, you'll find that there are numerous roots which are branching from the same one, from the same stem. And then they also anchor the same plant on the ground. But the type of roots which we make from there, they don't go very deep most of the time. So this is sometimes called adventitious root system, as I said at first. It emerges from the radicle and it does not go very deep. And it also grows as a dominant root. Then the secondary root will develop of the same size. Most of the roots which are here, which develop from this type of root system, adventitious type or fibrous, they are of the same size. They are very small. They are the size of the roots which will come from such type of the plant. They are almost the same. There's no root which is bigger than the other. And then this root system is seen mostly in monocotyledon plants. Examples of monocotyledon plants. What are some of the examples of monocotyledon plants? Where you find this type of root system? Maize. Maize pea? Grass. So, the general answer for this one, when you say grass, most of the grasses we see outside, this is the type of root system which they have. Fibrous root system or adventitious root system. Now, coming back to where you are seated in those tables, there are the roots which have been provided in two specimens. There is specimen labeled Z, and the other specimen has been labeled as X, of which we have those two according to the way they appear in the soils. There is X and Z as specimen in form of root system. So, looking at what I've just explained here, I'll ask that using the worksheets that have been provided, I want you to examine these types of root systems just there using the handles and state their differences. And then answer those 4 questions which are falling under the same worksheet. And then afterwards, I'll just ask one from each group to come and present only one question from those possible 4 questions which you have been given. Okay, so the root systems which have been given, I think when you looked at the fibrous root system, one of the examples of fibrous root system is this one where roots will be made from the stem direct, and then they don't have the primary root system. And then on taproot system, this one has been presented also as a specimen where you will find that the lateral roots are branching. They are branching from the main root system. And then apart from that, from the lateral roots, there is also development of root hairs. So according to the findings which have been, to the questions which have been given on those worksheets, I will expect that one pupil from the 4 groups to come and present the findings by answering the following questions. So when I choose a group, I will even tell you which type of question you're answering. So just quickly walk in front and come and present your findings from here. So we'll start with the group which is at number 2 from this one. 1, 2. Can we have the one who is presenting answers from that group come and give us the answers to question 1, which states that examine the specimen cause and identify the differences. Identify the differences. So you state the differences observed in these two. Can you quickly come in front and explain your findings?
The question is, examine the specimens closely and identify the differences. So specimen Z is a fibrous root system. It does not have a dominant root, which is the permanent root which grows downwards. Then specimen X, it is a taproot system. It has a dominant root, which is a permanent root which grows deep downwards.
Those are some of the differences which will come out from those specimens after looking at them. Because can we clap hands for her? Can we have another people from that group at the back behind, where there is Naviana? Can we have a presenter from there to come and answer? The question is, which type of root has an advantage over the other and why? Which type of root system has an advantage over the other? And what are some of the reasons in favor? Can you have someone from there?
The fibrous root has an advantage over the taproot because the fibrous has a lot of roots. The taproot has a primary root, which makes it difficult for it to absorb a lot of water from the soil. That's what happens.
You can clap for her as well. Can you have another answer from, apart from what she has explained, an addition as to why she's saying fibrous root system has an advantage over the taproot system? Who can add?
A fibrous root system has an advantage over the other because it has a lot of roots and it provides a large surface area for absorption of nutrients in water.
Provides large surface area for absorption of water and other nutrients. Okay, we go to the third question. Can we have someone from this group here to come and give us the findings on why are the roots important to the process of photosynthesis? What are the reasons as to why the roots are connected to very important to the type of root system in relation to photosynthesis, of course?
The plants are important because it provides large surface area for absorption of water and mineral salts, which helps in the manufacturing of food in the process of photosynthesis.
Is it the only one? It's correct. You can also clap for her. The last question was state two differences between dicotyledon and dicotyledon plants in relation to root systems. Can we have a presenter from this group come and state the differences between dicotyledon and monocotyledon in relation to root systems?
Answer was the dicotyledon is found in the taproot system, while the monocotyledon is found in the fibrous root system. The dicotyledon plant have a star-shaped xylem, while in monocotyledon has a ring-shaped xylem.
Very correct. You can also clap for her. Do we have another group which has found any different answer from the answers which have been presented? Do you have another group which has found any different answer from the answers presented on any of the 4 questions? Yes, at the far there where there is Betty. On which question are you trying to add?
What the importance of roots
On the importance of roots, what are some of the points which have been raised, which have not been outlined here?
The importance of roots in relation with photosynthesis. Roots are used to transport water and nutrients which are needed for photosynthesis from the soil.
From the soils.
For transportation.
For transportation. Okay, thank you very much. And then the other one, Agatha, you answering which question? Adding on which one?
Question 4.
Yes.
State the difference between dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Monocotyledon contains a feed on the middle of the root, while in dicotyledon does not contain feed.
Does not contain egg. Thank you very much. Also, so do you still have some? Yes, the last one. Blessings, Maurice.
On question 3.
Question 3.
Yes.
The importance of root system in relation to photosynthesis.
Yes.
Yes.
The taproot system holds the plant and the soil together for it to be firm. And then, when the soil is not moist, when it's dry, the roots are still able to go down to collect the nutrients that are down and can still hold the plant.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And in addition to that, the fibrous root system, it is one of those plants or root systems which also prevent soil erosion. When you look at the types of plants which are found with that one, which is this one, which is labeled as a fibrous root system, they are well spread on the ground. Hence, they hold soil together to prevent soil what? So these are some of the things which we are supposed to examine as we look at roots. So when you look at roots everywhere, whatever plant you are looking at, you either find a taproot system or a fibrous root system. And then above all, these roots will perform same functions as it can be done in any of the two types of root systems. So at the moment, this is what we had for the lesson on transport and storage in plants. We have come to the end of the lesson. From me, Elliot Mans, and the rest of the studio crew, for now, it's bye.